All right, Zeke, thanks for joining us today. For questions for Zeke, please use the raise hand function. We'll get started and we'll go to Tyler James up first.
Hey, Zeke, what did you learn about yourself last season being able to make some starts, and how much confidence did that give you going into the offseason?
Yeah, I learned I could be a guy for this offensive line to help out the unit and take up that spot with Jared being out. He's probably the smartest football player I've ever played with, offensive line wise, and I just was able to take that role. And you can't let the guy next to you down, and hopefully help the unit succeed and help our team succeed. And playing big time game like that gives you a lot of experience, especially being able to handle the pressure and understanding what big game feels like. So it's good experience going into this season.
Next question is going to come from John Bryce.
Yeah, Zeke, kind of following up Tyler's question, specifically with that late season action that you got, where has it helped you the most as you go through this spring?
I would just say being able to handle pressure situations. We have high tempo periods during practice. We have high pressure situations during practice, and just being able to handle that and be able to manage the pressure. And with that experience again from last season going into this season helps a lot. Because going against the best competition and going against our defense is the same thing, because we have one of the best defenses in the country. And just being able to go against that every day is really going to help prepare us for the season as well.
Next question is going to come from Lou Samoji.
A little not football related, Zeke, but what's it like growing up in a family with 8 older brothers and sisters, and how does that help hone your competitive instincts when you get out to football?
Yeah, growing up the youngest of 9 kids, definitely, you're battling everything you do. You always want to win, and whether it was playing checkers with my brothers or shooting hoops in the front yard, like I'd really be upset whenever I lost. And having all 4 of my brothers play college sports, 3 playing football, 1 playing baseball, that really helps set my competitive edge. And I had guys to look up to growing up, and just being able to understand what it's like to be a college athlete and understand that you have to have a competitive edge if you want to succeed, no matter what level it is. So, just having those role models in my life and, brothers I could look up to or ask questions to, definitely helped me be more competitive and, got me to where I'm at today, ultimately, I think.
Next question is from Tim Priester.
Zeke, I missed your first question, so I apologize if I'm going over a topic you addressed. But I know that I think it was late in the first half against North Carolina, you suffered an ankle injury. Just what was it like playing through that in the second half and then dealing with that over the next month before you were able to get back in the starting lineup in the Rose Bowl?
I would say it was definitely really frustrating for me, just because, I was so excited to go get my first start. And I went out there and got hurt. I played through it, battled through, had a decent game. But it was pretty frustrating to, be able to go out there and start and then have to sit out and then, come back for the college football playoff. But I mean, experience nonetheless that I grew from, just being able to manage different situations. Injuries is the name of the game. People get injured playing football. And, it definitely changed a little bit of my mindset, because people need to understand, like, you can get football taken away from you in an instant, whether it's from getting hurt or any other circumstance. And just got to be very grateful that, we have this game and we have this brotherhood that we get to look forward to every day.
Next question is going to come from Eric Hansen.
Hey, Zeke, I'm not sure how many reps you actually take with these 2 guys, but I wondered if you could share your impressions of Rocco Spindler and Blake Fisher.
Yeah. For guys that are supposed to be in high school currently, they're doing a really good job. They're doing a really good job processing all the new information, all the plays and stuff. I say they're like ahead of the curve as far as knowing the plays go. And Blake's a really strong dude. He's a big guy. I think he's doing a great job. He has a really, really high ceiling. And Rocco is stepping in there and doing a really good job pass protecting. And, he works really hard. He gets better every day. And, it's a pleasure playing with those guys. They're a couple young dudes that will definitely be able to, take the mantle, and they're going to be able to produce for us this year as well. We have a lot of guys playing a bunch of different positions. We have a lot of guys that are very versatile, like able to play all three or at least two positions. So we'll get a lot of players, a lot of good reps this year.
Next question is from Tyler James.
Zeke, kind of going off what you just mentioned with guys playing all over the place, what are the challenges of that with playing next to different guys every from a snap to snap basis sometimes? And what do you think how is that helping you guys?
Yeah, definitely, having a bunch of different combinations of players and being able to work with all of them, it helps a lot just because you're not always going to get the same look from a defense, or you're not always going to get the same block from the guy next to you. You just got to trust that they're going to do their job. And I know, I trust the guy next to me always. That's just the way it has to be. And it's definitely, it's great for getting a bunch of guys ready and getting them football ready for the season. And just being able to get as many guys in there as we can to help produce for this team. And yeah, I think it's a great experience to be able to have a bunch of guys next to you that you can trust that are going to do their job. So we got a bunch of good players, and we're working on finding our identity right now.
All right, next question is going to come from Tim O'Malley.
Zeke, along those same lines, you jumped in last year with 4 guys that are going to be playing in the NFL in 2021, and now you are in the middle of a lot of guys in different combinations. Is that one of your additional challenges right now? Is trying to find a bit of a leadership role when obviously you had that role covered for you when you were playing against Carolina and Alabama?
Yeah, like I said, we're working on finding our offensive line identity right now. We got really all five of our starters last year are out. Jarrett isn't competing this spring, but he's still a huge part of that locker room, a huge part of the film room. He's still, one of the great leaders of offensive line. Him, Dylan Gibbons, Josh Lugg, fifth-year guys. Jarrett's a senior. We got a lot of great leadership, and we got shoes to fill. And I think we're doing a great job at just getting guys in there, getting them reps, getting them experience, and we're just piecing together, attacking every day with the same mentality, and just getting after every practice, just knowing that we don't have those guys anymore, and we got to produce and have just as good of a year if we want to succeed. Because I think a great offense all starts with a great offensive line, and if we don't have that set in stone up front, a bunch of guys you can trust on, then we need to figure that out, get our identity going.
And then Tyler James, did you have a follow-up since your hand's raised?
Yes, I do. Zeke, are you working at any positions outside of center?
No, I'm just playing center right now.
Thank you.
And then we're going to end it with loose emoji. Final question.
Kind of a follow-up to that is most of your predecessors, Jared Patterson, Nick Martin, Sam Mustipher, never played center coming in here. I think you were listed as a guard coming in. Is center your natural position? Is that where you've trained almost all your life? And it seemed you had to put on quite a bit of weight, because I think you were listed at 270 or 275 when you came in as well.
Yeah. I came in at 270, and I had a bunch of great centers before me, and big shoes to fill always, especially Jarrett being out right now, and a bunch of great offensive line tradition. Obviously, it's O-line U, and I played guard for most of my high school career, and came in and put on 25 pounds, and it's been a long process. It's been very enjoyable, and just being able to be with these guys every day and get after it with them, it's a lot of fun.
All right, Zeke, that's it. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, Jay, thanks for joining us today. We're going to start with the first question with Tim O'Malley. Go ahead, Tim.
Jay, just wondering if the coaches, what guidance Coach Polian gives you in terms of when you're trying to placement kicks, trying to drop the ball inside the 20, not get in the end zone. Is there a ratio he wants from you guys?
The expectation is to keep it out every time. Coach Polian does a great job with us, and really just technically and tactically, like in practice. So I think more than anything, it's what we do leading up to that, not so much the mindset. I think it's just something that's expected every time. So.
Next question is from Tyler James.
Hey, Jay, how would you evaluate your performance from last year? And then how do you measure success?
So I think I was much better last year than I was the year before. I think I'm definitely getting better every year. And that's certainly the goal, is to keep ascending and keep doing my job. I think fair catches and, a really solid average is where I want to be. Make it as easy as possible for our defense and field position. We definitely, our cover team does a great job, and definitely would not be able to do what I do without those guys. So
Next question is going to be from Lou Samoji.
Jay, I wanted to ask you about two plays last year, which were kind of game changers. The run against Duke when the offense was struggling, and that kind of turned things around, but also especially the tackle on Travis Etienne right before half, I think, on a missed field goal there. Punters are sometimes stereotyped as maybe not the full football players, but you seem to take especially great pride in that, having been a all-state quarterback, in having that complete game. But tell me about those plays.
yes, sir. I mean, I really pride myself on being able to do stuff like that, and being somebody the team's going to lead on, and like when a big play is needed. Obviously, it's not shiny and all great being a punter. You're not the quarterback anymore. That's for sure. But with the importance of some of those plays and just being called upon is a pretty big deal to me, and I take that really seriously and want to be able to do everything I can for the team.
Next question is going to be from Tim Priester.
Jay, two things. One, how does a punter, and maybe you didn't have to worry about this in high school, but on this level, balancing, hang time and distance. I'm sure you'd like to boom them, but
Yeah,
absolutely. The hang time obviously is important, and you guys have done a great job of, like you mentioned, fair catches and limiting returns. My second question is, playing against Alabama, they never, I don't know how hard they recruited you in comparison to Notre Dame, but just the emotions of playing against, the hometown team, and then maybe not pursuing you as hard as Notre Dame did.
Yeah, I will say that game in particular was really special to me. Just knowing all the people I had there at the game, and then everybody I knew back home that was watching. The fact that everybody's an Alabama fan back home, and their eyes were going to be on the game, and that they were going to be cheering for me, not necessarily Notre Dame. But just the fact that I had them behind my back was pretty special, and to think that so many people were watching was a big deal. But in terms of balancing the hang time and distance, it's all technical and in mechanics. So it all has to do with the drop and everything, and that's something we work on every single day. Is just being consistent in different situations. If you want to get a little farther or more hang time, you go up and down with the drop. But it's all mechanical.
And then we'll do a final question from John Finneran.
Hey Jay, I wonder if you could tell me, are there any, when you were growing up and getting into punting, kicking, and everything, what players did you might have watched or tried to pick up stuff from?
Yeah, so really punting just kind of came out of nowhere for me. I'd never really focused on it or thought about doing it even. I was, I guess, a freshman in high school, and the high school team needed one. So just decided to start doing it and try to get better at it. In terms of looking up people and kind of mimicking mechanics and stuff like that, I'd say Johnny Hecker is a big one. AJ Cole, he's the punter for the Raiders. And Ty Long now is a guy that I like to talk to him a lot and try to pick his brain. So there's guys like that.
All right, Jay, that's it. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Houston, for joining us. We're going to start with a question from Patrick Engel. Go ahead, Patrick.
Houston, we heard Coach Kelly a little while ago tell us that part of their pitch to you was they want you as part of the plans, but nothing was promised in terms of starting jobs or whatever. Despite that, what do you think made this, you feel like this was the best opportunity for you to finish your career?
I've never been afraid of competition. Having that conversation with Coach Freeman and Coach Kelly, just knowing I got a home and it's something they really want me to come here and just come and compete. So I couldn't turn that down and have the opportunity to finish up my degree, which I'm about to finish up in the next few weeks here at Notre Dame, which is something I just couldn't pass up. So I'm looking forward to playing in this defense and helping this unit grow as a team.
Next question is going to come from Eric Hansen.
Hey, Houston, in terms of Marcus's scheme, is what you do within the scheme any different? And if so, do you feel like it's a better fit for what your skill set is?
Coach Freeman's defense, it allows us to play with multiple fronts and multiple coverages. It's something that, secondary and linebackers and defensive line, we really enjoy. Everybody's going to be able to go out there and just utilize their skill set and just go out there and play fast and just play with an edge and play with a lot of effort and attitude. We talk about swarming to the football and just playing with a nasty attitude because we want teams to feel us every time, and we're going to bring a lot of pressure, and we're going to be about that action at the end of the day.
Next question is from Tim O'Malley.
Houston coach mentioned he noticed that your football IQ is shining this spring. Does starting out playing nickel as a freshman there, early enrollee, going to boundary and then to safety, has that really helped your understanding of what goes on as a safety?
I've been able to learn all three defensive back positions. This offseason, I've really challenged myself as a football player and academically to really become a student of the game and to just finish up my degree. So anytime I finish up with classwork, I have the opportunity to come get recovery in and just get a quick meeting in with Coach Freeman and Coach O'Leary just to develop and just work on the details. Coach O'Leary always preaches, let's focus on the details and let's get better 1% every day. So that's something I just really been challenging myself to do, and just to really stay in the film and just stay in my playbook so I can help the young guys and the 10 other guys on the field can have confidence in me the same way I have confidence in them.
Next question is from Tyler James.
Hey, Houston, you've been on the cusp of sort of making an impact on Saturdays throughout your career. Why do you think this season will be different, where you'll be able to be maybe a more consistent contributor for the team?
Just continue to have reps and just continue to work on the details and to fine tune my game is something that I've really just been working on. And just having this leadership role now is something I enjoy. It's something that's been able to challenge me. And like I said before, I'm just trying to just continue to put confidence in the other guys in front of me and just bring the best out of myself and bring the best out of the other 10 guys out there on the field. So we can just be the best defense each and every play, and we can be the best defense in the country.
Next question is from Eric Hansen.
Hey, Houston, I know Coach O'Leary was around Notre Dame last year. We haven't got a chance to meet him. What can you tell us about what kind of coach he is and what's it been like for you to work with him?
It's been great being with Coach O'Leary. Coach O'Leary's a guy who brings a lot of energy and juice to the room, but it's something about Coach O'Leary that, the rest of the safeties we really enjoy. Every practice before we started up, he brings us all together and he just brings up one word. Today was communication, and that's something that we try to emphasize in practice. So we try to over-communicate, and today we over-communicated, and that's something we just continue to build. I feel like Coach O'Leary is somebody that just he tries to push us each and every day and just wants us to be great in everything on the field and off the field. So I just continue to just enjoy Coach O'Leary and just the time that we've had with him so far. It's just been great.
And next question is now from Patrick Ingle.
Houston, to borrow another line from Coach Kelly earlier, he said that in parts of your 3 seasons, it's kind of moments where it seems like you're using a hammer instead of a screwdriver. What do you think this offseason has led you to seemingly make some progress in that area, whether it's been a focus you've kind of had yourself or new voices with Coach O'Leary and Coach Freeman?
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah. What kind of emphasis or help has some new voices in the coaching room, like Coach Freeman and Coach O'Leary, done to kind of help you take a step forward that the coaches think you've been able to take so far?
My football IQ, like I said before, me being able to just watch film is something that I really just enjoy. It's something that I've been trying to work on this off season. And being around Coach O'Leary, he gives me tips that help me go out there and play faster. And those tips are something that the young guys look at me. So me being the older guy, the young guys look at me. So I try to be able to teach them some of the things that I've learned from them. So my football IQ, I feel like it's grown over the last few months, and that's something that's going to continue to grow and develop over the next few months going into the season.
All right, it looks like we have one more question from Tim Priester.
Yeah, Houston, what were all the factors in your decision to put your name in the transfer portal? And then, what ultimately did you see in coming back to Notre Dame that made that the best choice for you?
I really appreciate your question right there. But really right now, my main focus is just being present where my feet are. And that's, we just finished practice 7, and I'm just trying to continue to work better and be a better safety and just help this team just continue to ascend and just continue to be a great unit and just challenge everything. And that's something Coach Freeman brings to us. And the golden standard is something that he's brought here. And that's something that we're just continue to, utilize every day.
All right, last call for questions. All right, thanks, Houston, very much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Isaiah, thanks for joining us this afternoon. We're going to start with a question from Patrick Engel. Go ahead, Patrick.
Isaiah, we heard Coach Kelly talk about your plan for off-season development and kind of how that's a physical plan, but not necessarily adding or dropping weight. Can you just kind of take us through what this offseason has been like and kind of the things they've challenged you to do?
Yeah, so with Marcus Freeman coming here, he put in the Vipers into more like linebacker, defensive end type of position. So I've been working on a lot more drops, a lot more covering, but still it's still a pass rusher. So I've been working on like technical with like working my hands, being more physical at the point of attack with the cheap blocks. So everything's just more physical and just working coverages. That's something new that I have to do now, but I'm starting to like it a lot more.
Next question is going to come from Tyler James.
Yeah, Isaiah, what kind of lessons did you learn from the talented defensive ends that you sort of been playing behind the last couple of years?
Oh, I learned a lot. I learned I'm the size of Khalid, I'm the size of Julian. I'm the size of like Dalen and Ade and Jameer. Everyone, all of them, all using long arm. And they're just showing me everything I can do off the long arm using my length. So that's what I've been working this offseason too, to try to use my long arm and with pass rushing. But like all of them like same body build as me, or I'm like a little bit bigger than them. But yeah, just learning from everything they like passed down to me basically from freshman year to sophomore year to now.
Next question is going to come from Lynn Clark.
Isaiah, we know this spring is really about physical conditioning, but what have you done mentally to prepare for the upcoming season?
Mentally, I've just probably watching more film mentally. I watch a lot more film, trying to get everything like technical, because last year I'll probably say I was just like going on the field, just playing ball, but not really having everything technical and like sound what I was doing. But like Ade and Dalen were both like trying to teach me throughout the season, like before the season. But this year now I'm like one of the younger guys. But yeah, like mentally, I probably like watching more film and trying to get the younger guys to watch film with me too. But like that's everything that all the D linemen are trying to work on.
And then just once again, call for questions here. All right, we got another question from Tyler James.
Yeah, Isaiah, have you identified areas of your game where you feel like you can be maybe more consistent to help you out this season?
I would say pass rushing. I need to be more consistent with pass rushing, trying to get around the blocks or going through the blocks. But yeah, like hands down, I'll probably say pass rushing, even though I'm considered one of the better pass rushers on the team. But I need to be more consistent with that.
Next question will be from Tim Priester.
Yeah, Isaiah, we always naturally ask defensive ends about pass rush, but where do you think you are as a run defender, and how do you get better at that? And secondly, I want to ask you about the two young guys that we see a lot of video of you going up against, Baker and Fisher at the left tackle spot.
What was that first question again? It was
as a run defender. We always talk to defensive ends, and you were talking about pass rush, but as a run defender, what do you need to do to be better at that?
Run defending is always being physical. So everyone can always get more physical at the run blocks. But yeah, I would say get more physical with like cheek blocking, trying to get into the gap, going against the tight end, running through him and not like around him, using my hands more active, getting inside and like pushing, pulling them away from me. But yeah, with run blocking, I'd probably say with everything with my games, just trying to be more technical with everything, like getting my hands inside, be more aggressive and physical with the block, through the block. But that's like with everything while I'm working on throughout this off season, while my game, trying to be more physical, even with the run blocking. And with you say Tosh Baker and Blake Fisher?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, they're two like really good tackles, I will say, and they have a lot of growth, especially Taj with his length being, I don't know, he's like 6'8", but he has long arms too. But he has long arms, so he's been able to use that a lot. So he's going to be one of the good tackles too, and so is Blake Fisher. He's been one of the more powerful tackles with a strong punch, and he has long arms. So they both can be great tackles here.
Go ahead, Tyler, with your follow-up question.
Yeah, Isaiah, you mentioned wanting to improve on the pass rush, but also you're sort of adding these linebacker responsibilities. What's the challenge of trying to like improve on all those things at once, and then how much more work is that creating for you this offseason?
Yeah, it's always creating work, but with covering, it's just new techniques I need to learn. I always see corners doing it with chasing the hip and like staying with them, the man. But it always looks easy when they do it, but when you actually go out there, a little bit more challenging. But that's just a little bit more stuff I have to work on, like getting hands on the guy when he about to break on a route, staying close to his hip, like just being aggressive at the point of attack. And that's basically it. Just trying to be more technical with everything. But that's just new techniques that Coach Cook and Coach Freeman and whoever's coaching the Vipers on just to guard the tight ends.
Next question is going to come from Josh Vowles.
Yeah, Isaiah, one of the bigger impacts you've made since you've been at Notre Dame has been on special teams, and made some huge plays there. Are you planning on continuing to keep that spot there in special teams? And how much have you been working on that this spring?
Yeah, punt return, I expected to be still on there unless Coach Pullian does something. But but I'm expected to be still on punt return. Last year I was doing some kick return too, so I was back there blocking and some on kickoff. But wherever Coach Pullian wants me to be, I'll be there. Just put my best foot forward. I really like punt return. I want to stay on there and kickoff and kick return. I like blocking and running down the field.
All right, we got two more questions. First from Patrick Engel.
Hey, Isaiah, what were some of your off-season like winter conditioning goals as far as weight gains or anything like that?
With weight gain, I've been at a solid like 258, 260 range, like every now and then, like 262 some days. But with the weight hasn't been like much of a problem for me. But like with conditioning, I just trying to get my conditioning level up. Like with the D line, I'm always trying to like gas up who's faster. Like since OC now is a defensive end, I always try to say I'm faster than him. All the D linemen, I'm always saying I'm faster than them. So like I'm trying to get my conditioning level up, but I'm trying to get everyone else's conditioning level up, trying to race me and try to beat me and everything.
All right, and final question is going to come from Lou Emoji.
Isaiah, last year with veterans such as Dalen and Ade, your role seemed just kind of more defined. You know, you'd be taking about 20 snaps a game, and it's get after the quarterback. What is your biggest difference coming into this season with a new defensive coordinator as far as assimilating into what he wants you to do?
The biggest difference coming into this season and with Coach Freeman's new defense is just trying to get pressure on in the backfield against the run games against the running back and the pass game against the quarterback. But just everything starts with the D line. That's what Coach Freeman harps on. Everything starts with D line. If the D line does bad, the defense is going to do bad, but they're going to go up to second level and get more and more yards. But the defense or the D-line does good. We'll get stops, we get off the field and just be dominant defense. But everything starts with the D-line, and that's what all the D-line men are trying to do better.
All right, that is all the questions. So thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.